Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Martin, your librarian, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about sources for the Genetic Disease Project. Before we get to my recommended sources, let's talk about the source rubric. You will see that you are being responsible for 15 points worth of research. So this rubric will help guide you on the ways to get those 15 points. You can do that by getting database sources and books. Those are the highest amount of points, 5 out of 5. And the reason for that is database articles and books go through an editing process, and they are always written by experts in the field. That is very different from websites that people create through a Weebly website or a Google site or a blog. Anyone can publish anything on the web nowadays, so we want to be careful by you just doing a Google search. So use this rubric as a guide to make sure that you get the best sources possible and the highest amount of points possible. So I've created a list of resources for you on a Pathfinder, and you can access that through the library website. And click on Pathfinders, and it's right here at the top. So let's go through some of these sources. I'm going to start with the Gale Science in Context database. Let's do a search for hemophilia. So the way that the Gale databases work is you search for a topic and you get to a main page. So what this does is give you a variety of sources to choose from, and this will help each of you depending, it doesn't matter if you're person A, B, C, or D. So for example, I know that, let's see, person B is looking for pedigree charts. So I suggest you check out Gale's images, and right here you will see a hemophilia pedigree chart. This is safer than just doing a Google image search for a hemophilia pedigree chart. The reason for that is when people submit images to Google, they tag them, and let's say somebody tagged it incorrectly. You would be relying on that source and putting the image on your project not knowing that it's been tagged incorrectly. So safest bet is going through Gale for images. Besides images, you will see things like statistics. That could be helpful for person C looking at modern research. Also for person C, news articles. Check this one out right here. December 2017, gene therapy makes a big advance treating hemophilia B. So lots to choose from. I'm going to look at reference sources with you. I suggest that you either sort the sources by date or just pay attention to the dates listed. Down here is a 2016 article. So let's look at that one. What I like about Gale is it's really user-friendly. The information is broken down into sections, so this can be useful no matter what person you are. So for example, we're looking at genetic profile here. That would give person B an advantage. They need to talk about how the disease is passed down. So this would be included here. Signs and symptoms. Person A is looking at symptoms. Treatment, that would also be person B. So lots to choose from. Another advantage of using Gale is the citation tool. This is the MLA citation, which you can copy and paste into your bibliography slide. Also, you can use this information for your in-text citation. So that is all for Gale that I wanted to show you. And another database is Medline Plus from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, and that is also organized. Let me show you an example. Cystic fibrosis has a main page here, and you can check out, these sources. You have National Library of Medicine, Human Genome Research Institute. I always like to start at Read More because you get the links for the different topics that you're doing for this project. So, for example, symptoms, right there, person A, treatment, down here, that would be for also person A, looking at how to live with the disease and cope. And then there is also clinical trials down here. That would be good for person C, looking at modern research. This is from the National Library of Medicine, so the government is going to be getting a lot of the genetic testing data that is being submitted. So, great source, and I suggest you check it out. It's also a 5 out of 5. Another 5 out of 5 source would be the books on the cart in your classroom. Those were taken from the library and they're for your use. Books are really easy to cite. You just need the author, title, publisher, copyright date. That info can be found in the first few pages of a book. And if you need to know the order of how to cite a book, check out Noodle Tools or EasyBib or another online citation making source. So besides the books with paper pages, we also have ebooks on these topics. So let's look at sickle cell for the ebooks. So I'm just going to type that in. We have one here. I'm going to open it up, and the catalog is just going to ask that you sign in with your username and password that you use for the desktop computers. That just shows that you go to Oak Ridge and, it gives you access. So here we are. Ebooks allow you to flip through the pages just like you would a normal book. So I like to start with the table of contents so you can see some of the different topics. Person B, looking at chromosomes, might want to check out the part on genetics, so genetics of sickle cell anemia. Person A, looking at how one is cared for when they have the disease, might want to look at treatment. And then there's also another way to search besides just looking at the table of contents. But before I go on, I'll just show you, you can just drag this bar here. So let's say we want to go to page 88, look at treatments. Here you have that page right in front of you. So we can also search go through every single word in the book by doing a search. So let's see if the word race is mentioned. This would be helpful for person D, looking at the influences. Are there any racial influences, for example? So I have 2 results. Alright, so this gives me a map, and it says the gene for sickle cell disease occurs with 5 distinct variations, and it looks like across 5 different locations. So that would possibly be helpful for person D. So that's just a basic overview of how to use the ebooks for this project. Just like a normal book, we want to make sure that this is available for others when you're done with it. So if you could do me a favor and just click back until you get to the main page, and you're basically checking the book back in so that it will say in and others can search for it. Also on the Pathfinder are websites that are recommended. You'll see they're from hospitals, universities, and government organizations. So check these out for an additional source. Lastly, you have access to Grolier Encyclopedia online. That can be a good place to start to get general research for your project. So I hope that this Pathfinder points you in the right direction and helps you with sources. Please come see me in the library if you have any additional questions.